So Black Panther number 16 is basically one giant, oh my god, Black Panther and Storm are getting married issue. In the beginning, we get different perspectives from many different types of Wakandans. Some support it, others don't. Others think they're rushing into things, and there's this weird discussion about whether or not Storm can even have children with T'Challa due to her being a mutant. Then we see the Avengers Tower, and we see how different heroes are taking the news, and for the most part, everyone is happy and supportive. The X-Men, however, seem a little put off by the announcement. Cyclops talks about how the team is losing a leader. Wolverine, who was just in the Sudan not too long ago with Storm, mentions to Nightcrawler that none of them ever stood a chance. The Fantastic Four are all supportive and discuss what they plan on wearing. This is a great snapshot of Marvel superheroes right before everything goes to hell in Civil War. Then we go to the south of France, where we see a woman by the name of Princess Zonda. Zonda was originally introduced as a member of the Collectors in Black Panther issue number 4 back in 1977. She's of royal blood from another African nation called Nairobia, which sounds a lot like Nairobi in Kenya. However, at this stage, Zonda is in exile and wanted in 15 different countries, and she seems bent on destroying this new union between Panther and Storm, wanting to replace Storm with herself, of course. So we also see S.H.I.E.L.D. and S.H.I.E.L.D. has the most negative reaction to the marriage, thinking it'll be a security nightmare with so many powerful people in one location and a potential target for supervillains. S.H.I.E.L.D. also doesn't seem to have a good working relationship with Wakanda. One of the things I've always loved about Black Panther comics is the chance to see the inner workings of Wakanda itself. We see that there are security forces even in Wakanda that think something may go down with so many superheroes together in one place, so they're even taking the proper precautions. We also see the reaction from T'Shan, T'Challa's cousin, an old rival for the throne from issue number 14. He's now the ambassador for Wakanda at the United Nations, and there are allusions made that he may be up to no good. Meanwhile, Storm and T'Challa make plans to find parts of her family she's never made contact with. However, before we see that happening, we see a family connected in some way to Wakanda attacked by a group of Hydra operatives. They seem to be in hiding, possibly under a different identity. The elderly couple takes out 2 of them and wonders where the rest are before looking outside and seeing the Black Panther himself standing above a gang of dead Hydra operatives. Come to find out, that elderly couple in hiding is none other than Storm's parents, who she thought were dead. To end this issue, we discovered that the Hydra soldiers were sent by the same short, bald Kenyan warlord we saw last issue plotting against the new couple. Turns out, just as S.H.I.E.L.D. thought, someone definitely is plotting to attack the superheroes at the wedding. And with the Red Skull dead, Magneto MIA, and the Green Goblin in prison, he plots to unleash the Man-Ape at the wedding. So issue number 17 will end my Black Panther lead up to the Civil War, given the fact that the wedding itself takes place well into the actual event after Civil War issue number 2, and before the war itself breaks out in Civil War issue number 3. Technically speaking, this issue right here takes place around the time of the Stanford bomb. I'm including it in this video, however, because no mention or even slight hint of Stanford is actually made in this issue, which leads me to believe it happens right after this issue takes place. So at the beginning of issue number 17, outside of seeing Luke Cage playing the bachelor party, we see T'Shan introducing T'Challa and Storm for a press conference. The press conference itself turns political when they are asked about their stance on the Superhuman Registration Act. T'Challa seems like he wants to keep it politically correct, with a standard answer about not commenting on U.S. domestic policy, while Storm uses the opportunity to show the difference between the U.S. and Wakanda. She says Wakanda won't be wasting resources on witch hunts, and that's why it leads the world in technology and human rights. The press is stunned for a moment, then cheers. It's an amazing statement that gives Wakanda a unique role in the Marvel Universe, something that I'd like to see them replicate in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We see Luke Cage finally taking the idea of the bachelor party to T'Challa. And, T'Challa completely shoots it down. He's so in love with Storm, he can't even think about being around another woman other than her. So later we find out that Storm has a bachelorette party planned and tells T'Challa that he should do the same. So he turns around and agrees to Luke Cage's bachelor party. So the plan is to go to Brazil and really do it big. However, T'Challa ends up not feeling it, and the issue essentially ends with him traveling back to the US and meeting up with Storm after she has her own run-in with Princess Zonda, who doesn't really seem like a serious threat in any real sort of way. It's comical how really in these issues, there's no real serious threat against T'Challa, the Black Panther, or Storm herself. The enemies that are thrown at them are easily dispatched, mostly because this whole little mini event is called the Bride of the Panther. So it's essentially about their union. It's not about, getting into these super, massive battles. Nothing that would cause a serious threat to either of their lives, essentially. The next issue features the marriage itself, and like I said earlier, is essentially a Civil War tie-in that I'll read once we get to that point in the Civil War event. So stay tuned for the upcoming videos featuring Captain America issues number 15 through 21, which is the Red Menace story arc right before we see Cap in Civil War itself.